Hey guys, so today we'll be looking at my hiking shoes. I know it's a bit of an odd video in an odd setting, but then again, I had just washed these. Well, my wife had just helped me wash these after a particularly nasty trip, and so they are in about the cleanest condition they will be in a while. So I guess, well, it's the best time to put it on a table and have a look at it. The reason why I would like to talk about them is because I found them to be unusually good. That's compared to Merrell's and Colombia's, which I've had in the past, which to be fair were more hiking boot sort of design. And these are, well, trail runners. So these are the Peregrines, and the label's actually fallen off. I took a close-up of it. I'll just drop it in a picture here, but it's the S20483-1 men's size. Well, I use size US 13. Yeah. Anyway, one reason why I initially bought it, well, over here, having size 13 US is not that common. So the way I shop for shoes is basically I go into a shop and ask them, do you have size 13? If they have it, we start talking. If not, we move on. So at that point in time, this is what they had. And I think they had a Nike and Adidas. I don't recall. They had something else. It was more than, 2 years ago, before the pandemic. And so anyway, they brought these out. I tried these out. Quite like them, actually. And they are very wide at the front, which is great. And I have a wide foot, so wide toe boxes are always good. Nike tends to have a more narrow cut, so it doesn't really fit me. Just go over a few things that they have. So one thing really good is the sole. If you can see here, the treads are really grippy and they wear really well. I use this actually as my daily shoe for more than a year now. It's on tarmac and all that stuff, and they hold up quite well. Saucony has this thing called, what's that word? Oh gosh, let me look it up. Okay, it's an acronym. It's PWRTRAC. It's some sort of a compound material that's not really rubber, it's a synthetic. And that makes their sole more durable, I guess, than others. But it's grippy enough, so it's not a hard compound or anything like that. It can take a decent bit of flex and all that, and it's good. And the mid area is nice and spongy to absorb all of that. It's a very minor drop. I think it's like a 4 or 5 millimeter drop, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, it's a 4 millimeter drop across the shoe. So it is not really a zero drop shoe in that sense, but at least I don't quite like zero drops personally, but it's not one of those huge drops which gives you like 12 or 15 millimeters, whatever. It's just a 4 millimeter. So it's almost walking flat, but gives you a little bit of boost at the back. And I quite like that balance. What else? The bottom of the shoe is quite interesting. I'll throw a close up here, but if you look at the spaces between this PW track compound threads, it's actually fabric. So this allows the thing to move about and, well, I guess conform without having to put too much stress on the rubber itself. And maybe that's what has contributed to it lasting so well. So it's an interesting design that they have over here. It's some kind of woven fabric, and the rubber compound, the synthetic rubber compound, is actually molded into that fabric, and then I guess that's glued onto the midsole, which is then glued onto the top. Gluing and bonding wise, so far I've had no issues. Even the toe, which the Altras face perpetual problems with on the Saucony Peregrine, is holding up well. I've not had on either shoe it coming out, and I go through mud. If you see some of my tropical hiking and camping videos, I walk through rivers, I ford rivers. Half the time we're walking up rivers, so the shoe is constantly in the water, and then at other times you're walking through mud and all that. So these shoes have not been treated kindly, I guess. They've been used properly, and this still held up quite well. They drain really well. It's a sort of 3D mesh over here, but it's quite light. Over here, it's basically just netting, if you can see my fingers behind there. So it breathes really well. This is the ISO series, but I can't really speak to what they have. There are a few specifications. I'm sure you can look at it online. But basically, I just wanted to share that this shoe, a lot of people talk about Altras and true hiking and all that, right? They talk about Altras, they talk about the Obos. Not many people talk about the Sauconys or Sauconys. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it, but yeah, not many people talk about this shoe. And I think it's a good contender, actually. Price-wise, not too expensive. Altras are definitely more expensive than this. But yeah, do consider this, guys. I mean, the treads are really aggressive. Perfect for hiking over rocks and all that. Like I said, I go to rivers and all that, and it grips really well. There's slime on the rocks. Of course, it slips when it slips, but for the most part, it works really well. And I guess it does as well as many shoes and better than many as well. What else can I say about it? It has a tongue that's... I have this thing with Nikes and Adidas where the tongue actually starts to anchor somewhere down here, and so the tongue can actually shift left and right. I really dislike that. This one, on the other hand, if you can see here, it's sewn all the way down to this point here. So the tongue, while it can move, is centered all the time, and it doesn't drift off to the side like that or like that, as some shoes do, which I have faced in the past. And those are really one thing and that I can't take. They sometimes have like a little loop here which allows it to hold on the laces so that they don't slip that much left and right, but they still have a tendency to drift, and all that's holding it is the laces. This design, which connects it all the way down to the bottom, I think is really good. My insoles are wearing out already, so I will probably have to get new insoles. The insoles they provide are sand. Well, you can see here there's a bit of a toe wear and all that. They've compressed down a decent bit. But the insoles they provide are quite good, though very thin. If I had to guess, this is probably no more than 2 millimeters thick. So, yeah, it's not meant for padding. The padding is handled by this kind of foam internal liner. Stitching is all done really well. Yeah. There's no Velcro on the back for gaiters, so you'd have to stick that on yourself if you really need that. And the back of it is textured. Can't imagine why, but it is textured. And the rest of my shoe is not the cleanest looking, quite nasty, despite washing. So yeah, so this is the Peregrine insole. Probably get some Superfeet or something like that. Scholes also is not bad. And anything else to say about it? Not really, actually. Oh, I like the laces. These laces, the way they are woven, I guess. You can see the black and blue. And it's a flat lace. Yeah, let's see. It's a flat lace. And when this is tied over, they don't come out because of the geometry of it, and when it bunches down and bites on a knot, this holds a knot really, really well, much better than I think any other outdoor shoe that I've had. The Columbias, if I'm not mistaken, had round laces, the Merrells as well. My Nikes and Adidas generally have flat laces, but they're not this type, they're not so chunky thickness-wise. They are like a flat hollow tube, but not so much sponge in it and not so much lateral structure when compressed. So I really like these laces. They don't come out. The aglets are good. I don't see any problem with any of the aglets. Yep, all seem to be good. And yeah, that's about it. So a review of the Saucony Peregrine men's shoes after about 2 years out of wearing almost daily, actually. I use them even to work. Yeah, I can't fault them. Can I fault them for anything? No, not really. I'd give them a 5 out of 5. So yeah, for your hikes, whether it's day hikes, weekend warriors, true hikers, give it a thought. The Saucony Peregrines, definitely a contender as far as solid trail shoes, trail runners go. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.